All I got is missed calls on my line, yeah, never.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into episode 151 of the Missed Call Podcast. I'm Colby Marcio, and alongside me is Ryan, possibly Sartori. And we lost a friend this weekend, Ryan.
Who did we lose?
Thoughts? A friend. Matthew Perry.
Oh, that friend.
A friend.
I promise this isn't a bit. I was genuinely curious on who we lost. But yes, of course, Matthew Perry is passed. And, in eulogizing him on the air today, I found it rather interesting that he did an interview once where he was asked what he wants to be remembered for. And he said, I understand that I did something awesome that'll be remembered with friends. And he's like, I'm happy that I accomplished something like that in my acting career, but I hope that Friends isn't the thing that I'm remembered for. I hope that I'm remembered as somebody who, if somebody were to walk up to him and say, hey, I can't stop drinking, will you help me? I hope people remember me as the guy who always helped, because that's inevitably what he wanted to do. Matthew Perry suffered with substance abuse issues during his life. And he overcame those things and wanted to help others. And I thought that was very impactful. Even if you don't like the Friends show, the show Friends, I think there's something to extrapolate out of that and make sure that we don't forget along the way of remembering Matthew Perry.
Very well worded, Ryan. I would like to add that there's already conspiracies brewing up in the socials saying that he was murdered.
So there's two. It's tricky. There's two sides of it. I understand. Like, here's the first and foremost, right? Like, first and foremost, somebody just passed away. Let's not speculate.
It's
over
so
the death.
quick. It's so quick.
It's immediate. It's immediate because people have no couth. People have no.
Define that word. Define that word right now. Define that word. Couth.
Couth. All right. Here's your word of the episode. I think we did this before we stopped the first iteration of the show. But
spell it.
I think it's just COOTH, or is it CUTH? Couth. Couth. Hold on, let me speak it. I don't know how to spell it.
What a sidetrack we're on right now.
Couth. No, not to. Oh, there it is. Cultured, refined, well-mannered, good manners, refinement. Couth.
Spell it.
COUTH. Couth.
I'm gonna add that in my vocabulary.
But people lack couth. People lack the ability to just let something happen and then let a family, let friends, let colleagues mourn the loss of somebody before they start really popping off at the hip with all this nonsense. I also understand the way that the news cycle works. And understand why people may want to jump on it. I'm only trying to play devil's advocate.
If it's people on TikTok, I don't think that's news.
No, it's not. It's just people who hear things through back channels. And honestly, as you bring that up, I disavow the second part of trying to play devil's advocate. People are just dumb.
I mean, as a big conspiracy guy, I'm like, things are adding up.
What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
This is my favorite question, by the way. Thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome.
Not even being facetious. That's my favorite
I hope this doesn't take away from the fact that you started this episode with we lost a friend and now we're on conspiracy theories.
My favorite conspiracy theory is that Helen Keller never existed.
Oh.
That is my all-time favorite, because how did that woman graduate from college? How did you teach that woman how to do anything? She can't see. She can't hear.
And not to be reductive to people who have those disabilities, right? But
it sounds otherworldly.
It does, and maybe she was the person that needed to be there in order to develop these things. Without her, who knows? I can't say one way or another. I'm not well versed enough on the conspiracy to say whether or not it's true, but it is a miracle that she was able to graduate college having the impairments that she did.
So I said this in the office one time, and someone goes, "What are you talking about? She had that teacher, the one that wrote the book." And I go, anybody can write a book. Anybody can write a book.
And now we're on my favorite conspiracy theory, which is God isn't real. No.
No,
Because anybody can write a book.
I work with a guy. I was in tears when he said this because it was so casual. I have the photo of it. He goes, did I ever tell you, where is it at? He said, did I ever tell you I think the Bible was written by a homeless person?
Good.
What's
Starting
yours?
the episode.
What's yours though? What's yours?
My favorite conspiracy theory?
Yeah.
I think the most believable one. I think the most believable one is that JFK was assassinated by the CIA.
That does not count. That doesn't count because yes, it happened. There was 2 shots.
Well, but a lot of people like to think that he was assassinated by the mob, the mafia, because he was trying to break up the mafias. And I like to take it a step further and say that he wasn't assassinated by the gentleman. I guess he wasn't a gentleman. The guy in the book depository or whatever, or the mafia. He was shot and killed by the CIA. Because the CIA is one of the craziest organizations that we allow to go unchecked all the time. But other than that, I think that if you're on the idea of like who's blind, who isn't, like Stevie Wonder.
Heart of sight.
There you go. That's a guy that I point fingers at and be like, he's too good at piano, right? What's it?
I mean, you could sit anybody next to that and.
What's my favorite conspiracy theory? I mean, it's the one that I'm most well versed on is the JFK one, and like the one that I've had the most time to think about.
I mean, that's the one that has
JFK
the most information. I feel like
the one recently that I've heard a lot about in relation to sports and how Taylor Swift is impacting it currently.
Oh, I think I know what you're about to say.
The people in my building who work on the pop station were filling me in on how they think the reason that she's been going to Chiefs games is to completely throw out of whack her search engine optimization, her SEO. So when you were to search Taylor Swift jet, you would see that she has one of the biggest carbon footprints of any person in the world. Now, when you search Taylor Swift jet, you get Taylor Swift at a Jets game cheering on Travis Kelce.
This isn't what I was going to say.
What's the other one?
They're dating. They're dating because of Visor. So listen to this. They announced that they were dating. I think it was on his podcast, September 25th. That was also the same day that the commercial came out.
Oh.
And that was also around the same time as not Catching Kelce, the documentary. Sorry. All that's around the same time. The doc came out. They said they're dating, and the Visor commercial.
Pfizer,
sorry. The JB Pritzker.
Yeah.
The JB Pritzker.
Not a visor, a Pfizer.
Whatever. The JB Pritzker. Words, they're not my thing.
They're not mine either. Let's address an elephant in the room. It is the Halloween episode. We're recording this on the 30th.
Yeah, sorry. My co-host, the limo driver.
Well, no. So this is me going for my best Matt Foley. Which, if you're unfamiliar with the motivational speaker,
you have to stand up. Hey guys, he's used to big auditoriums. If you could make it feel big in here. Without further ado, Matt Foley.
I don't have the right angle for this. I don't think.
Every angle is the right angle, baby.
And I've got a chair, and I've got. My name is Matt Foley, and I am a motivational speaker.
You should stand every podcast.
He's like, oh yeah, this is actually not bad, and I prefer standing at a lot of the things that I do. But yeah, this was my best attempt at it. I don't think the shirt's tight enough. I don't think the jacket's tight enough. But I got the green tie and the glasses, and I live. You might be asking, how do we get our life back on track? Yeah. So that's what we got going on today. If you're just listening, good for you. If not, and you're watching, this is my best attempt at being Matt Foley. It might be a half-assed attempt, but money.
I don't have a costume, so you already win.
Well, I think it's fairly important to do a Halloween episode the right way in costume. And so I will continue like this, but likely with glasses off for most of it. So it'll just look like I'm ready to pick you up from the airport. We've got a lot happening.
You're Lloyd Christmas.
I'm the guy. I'm the guy in the ESPN commercial holding up the Michael Jordan sign, and
that's an old one.
Yeah, it is. All right, so let's do some Halloween stuff. What's your favorite part about the holiday?
Oh, and you made me look like the Scrooge, dude.
You don't like Halloween?
Hate Halloween.
Why? What happened?
This is just, I don't like scary stuff. So like, this is the worst part of this is the best season, and everyone's got to be getting scared and feeling spooky and whatnot. Like, oh, are you going to go to a haunted house? No, I don't want to go to a haunted house. Do you want to get dressed up and wear something once then you have to spend money on? No, I don't want to do that. No.
To be fair, the tie and glasses were together like $4 on Shein. So that's fine.
All right, first of all, stop. Do not buy from Shein, please.
Why?
They're terrible, terrible organization. Do not buy from Shein.
Well, they makes Papa's wallet a little fatter. So.
Yeah, and then they also use like a bunch of plastic. Did you not get 18 things in that bag?
Huh?
Yeah. You got like 18 things of plastic in that bag, didn't you?
I got a box and a bag inside my bag.
All right. What was it? Oh, I'll read you off my last few Halloween costumes that I spent $0 on, and I did it all myself.
Guy in a sports jersey. Guy in a sports jersey.
No.
Guy in a sports jersey.
When I ran into Zach Miller in 2019, I was wearing a T-shirt that I wrote in Sharpie. I just wrote asshole. And I go, I'm an asshole for Halloween. And that was my attempt at a costume. Was it a hit? A guy on the street goes, hey, everybody, there's the asshole. And I go, this guy gets it.
You should do another one where you dress up in the same white shirt, but you write clit on it, and you see if anybody can find you.
That's not, I shouldn't have laughed at that. And then 2020, when I think it was, that was so dumb. In 2021, I bought tape, like wrap tape, and I had my wrists and hands taped, and I was Rocky because I had a whole grout fit. How simple was that?
Very cool.
All right.
I usually am not.
What's your favorite part?
My favorite part of Halloween, I love a good hang. I love a good hang.
Hang?
Hear me out. You're not from the burbs no more, my guy. You are in. Yes, I love a good hang.
What's a hang?
Hanging out.
What do you mean?
A hang is how you hang out. Like the process of hanging out is a hang.
Please go into detail how this correlates with Halloween.
So, yearly, I like going to my dad's house. He sits at the end of his driveway with a chair and a big old stogie, and he just passes out candy to the kids as they're going by on Halloween. And it's honestly a great hang. He's drinking, he's stogieing it up. And when things are over, there's a fire in the backyard. You go to the fire pit, you hang out, and it's a great time. And I'm all for the hang. That's probably my favorite part about the actual day of Halloween. But I do appreciate other people's enthusiasm for scary things. My girlfriend, one of them, she is currently baking the cookies, and she's got the house decorated since the last day of September. Plus, we've got, you know, all the scary movies and things. She's a big Beetlejuice fan, so that's been on a few times. I don't know that I'm a humongous Halloween fan, but I dig a good hang.
This is the one decoration I have because I got this got it for $1 at Jewel.
What is that?
That is a baby pumpkin. Tell me that's not the cutest thing you've ever seen.
It's adorable. Thank you for saying pumpkin.
Pumpkin, yeah.
There's far too many folks out there, even still today in the year 2023 of our Lord, that say pumpkin. Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
It's just
See, I can pronounce words.
yeah, just enunciate, right? But some people,
Enunciate.
I have my pumpkin. What's that? What's a pumpkin? I don't know.
Does data or data drive you nuts?
Both are fine.
Data drives me nuts.
Data is how I say it though.
Data.
But I believe this, like the dictionary pronunciation of it is data.
Yeah, we don't need to get into another sidetrack here.
Favorite
Let's just
candy.
get,
It's former fat dude favorite candy.
I get flack for this every time. Baby Ruth.
Really?
I think it's extremely underrated. Like
Power ranking, top 5, go.
100. This is no top. This is just 5.
Power ranking.
Baby Ruth. Oh, you want me to
power rank top 5, go.
5
Baby Ruth is 1.
Snicker. I'm gonna go 5 is a 100 grand bar. I think they're very underrated.
Okay.
Milky Way can be 4.
Okay.
Kit Kat 3.
And then Snickers is 2.
Snickers.
Reese's doesn't even show up.
The thing, it doesn't have to. It'll be 6. Honorable mention.
Reese's is 1, followed by Kit Kat at 2.
Twix. I should have said Twix.
Somewhere in this list is a Crunch Bar, and I think it's 4.
Now the thing is, Crunch Bars as a kid are better. Crunch Bars now, you're like, this is the worst chocolate anyone's ever created.
Yes, but there's a added element of nostalgia in there that puts
it's got to be.
It's
better frozen. It's better frozen.
Number 3 on the list is a regular Hershey's bar. I'm a chocolate fanatic. I love a good chocolate bar.
You're literally eating rubber.
And no, it's chocolate, you moron. And then 5, you nerd. Good luck coming back from that one. 5. It's going to sound odd. Have you ever had a Skol candy bar? I think that's how that's pronounced. Skol, Skol.
No.
It's chocolate covered taffy or chocolate covered toffee. Yes,
Toffee's
and
elite.
It's very good.
Toffee is elite.
Yes, it is. So it's chocolate covered toffee, and it's very, very good. That's probably 5. Honorable mention is the Almond Joy.
Dude, you got a weird list. I like Almond Joys. I'm a big coconut guy. You
Yes.
got a weird list.
Yep.
That is a weird list. Now, you said Reese's number 1. What is the best Reese's? And I will tell you right now, it is the shaped ones.
Egg. It's the egg.
Egg is the bomb.
But like egg is better than pumpkin.
Have you ever had
egg is better than pumpkin? Christmas tree is better than pumpkin. Egg is better than Christmas tree.
Have you ever had the Santa Claus Snicker?
No.
It goes toe to toe with the Reese's egg.
Really?
I don't know. I think it's got a little more caramel or caramel, as psychos would say. It's got a little more caramel in there, I think, and it's just there's not a lot of nougat, so it's just you could like squeeze it. You know, if you squeeze like some things that have chocolate caramel, it's like that.
Well, squeezable is the Milky Way. The Milky Way is a squeezable guy.
Yeah. Now, for the people out there that are watching their figure, like I do all the time, if you want a healthier snack that tastes like a Snicker, you put dates on paper, whatever, the paper foil, whatever you want to call it, and then
parchment paper.
Parchment paper. I couldn't think of the word. You flatten the dates. You put peanut butter on it. You warm it up so it's easier to spread, and then you melt chocolate on it. Put a little salt. If you want to add peanuts, go ahead for the little crunch. A little salt. Freeze it.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes like a Snicker bar.
Really?
It's delicious.
I have to look it up. I was curious as I said it. Almond Joys can't be too high in calorie.
Oh, yeah, they do.
No, it's coconut.
It's got to be terrible because it's all processed.
Almond Joy, a full one, is 234 calories.
That's just a normal bar then. Because like a Snickers probably 280.
Snickers is 215. Okay. I had my shit fucking backwards, dog.
Hey, if you want to get skinny, eat a Snicker bar.
Reese's Cup. A Reese's Cup by itself, 87 calories. Baseball's happening right now. Game 3 of the World Series has yet to be played.
Terrible transition.
As we're talking, Game 3 is yet to be played. Series tied at 1. And Cub, you are pissed at a lot of people as it relates to this series. Why?
Pissed. Let's start off with Adolis Garcia. Adolis Garcia had his breakout season this year. He is on top of the world. He is in running for World Series MVP. He is one of the best players in the Rangers. He's one of the most exciting players in baseball as of 2023. We know, if you don't know his backstory, look it up. It's a fun read. It's a fun, cool thing to learn about. I really, really hate how when a baseball player has a breakout season, everyone automatically just says, "Oh, he's roiding. He's on roids. He's taking steroids." There's no way someone could just have this explosive like performance because it's baseball and everyone's on steroids. Shut the hell up.
Sure.
Shut the hell up. You're just looking for the layup conversation piece. How about the thing that I think I just hate how majority of people that watch sports are very mentally dense. Oh, someone's good at baseball. They're on steroids because the best that ever have done it were on steroids.
Right.
First of all, I don't give a flying F if he's on steroids. I want everyone to be roided. My thing is with baseball, I want 2 people on every roster to be roided up, and one can be playing at all times. Only one can be playing.
Still such a bad idea. I can't believe you still hold on to this.
I implement it to the game because there's people are going to still be taking steroids. But to say and accuse somebody of such in baseball, that's a criminal act. It's a criminal act to take steroids, and you're just going to go out of your way and say, roids. He did hit 58 home runs. He wasn't running for MVP. He just had a very, very exciteful and successful season and made an all-star appearance.
Yeah.
Please shut up.
Let's look at the numbers, right? Like, this is a guy who was an all-star 2 years ago, an all-star this year. But like, let's look at 2022 to 2023, because I think most people would tell you that he kind of broke out in 21 and has steadily been getting better until now, where he's finally reached somewhat of a superstardom. We'll see how long it lasts, but certainly in the postseason, he's been a difference maker. But like, if you want to look at just OPS plus, right? It's been a steady climb. He was an all-star again in 2001, had an OPS plus
21,
100 and 21. What did I say?
2001.
2021, he was an all-star with an OPS plus of 100. That's league average is 100. Last year it was 112. This year it was 123, which means this season he was 23% better.
He's on steroids.
He was 23% better than he was in 2021, but he was also only 11% better than he was last year. 11% as a jump is not too big a difference. Now I am rather intrigued, and I'm looking it up as I speak to see what the jump was for Barry Bonds when he started taking steroids over the course of one season. So, okay, OPS plus 1989. Oh, no, here we go. We'll go here. 2000 to 2001. I'll even go back 1 year. Clear it up. 99 to 2000. He went from 156 to 188 in terms of OPS plus. Again, 56% better than a league hitter, 88% better than an average league hitter. In 2001, this guy jumped to 258 in terms of OPS plus, which means he was 159% better than any other average hitter in baseball. Followed up by 268 in terms of OPS plus, 231, 263. That's a guy on steroids. That's what that looks like. for Adolis Garcia to go from 100 to 123 in 2 full seasons in which he has played games of 149, 156, and 148. He is not on steroids. You could just squash that right now, just with basic statistics.
I could have told you that by just watching the guy.
Correct.
He's just because he looks like Yasiel Puig and looks like he's never had a carb in his life doesn't mean he's on steroids.
It's very true. So, no, Adolis Garcia is currently having one of the best stretches of his life. It just so happens that it's coming during a time where it needed to come. This is David Freese. This is who was the first baseman? Travis Ishikawa for the Giants, right? Like, he's just having one of those moments. Am I saying Adolis Garcia is the same level as these two? No, but he's having one of those postseasons that we'll remember for a long time, and that doesn't necessarily mean that substances are involved.
Moving on to the other thing that pissed me off, I'm trying to find that guy's name. There he is, Brian Smith.
Memorable name.
Brian Smith's post was very it found my eye. I believe it was Friday, the day of game 1.
Okay.
And he was saying and telling people that this is going to be a waste of your time. Do not watch this World Series. Nobody asked for this World Series. Don't watch. And my counter argument is, do we not as fans complain, whine, moan you can say every year, every other year? Oh, I'm sick of seeing Golden State. I'm sick of the Patriots making the Super Bowl. I'm sick of this and that. But then when we get what we ask for, 2 teams that we never thought we'd see in the World Series,
we cry about it.
I'm not going to watch. You know what? This year's like the one World Series I'm like, I'm not going to watch. Okay, right. So you're not a fan. You're not a fan. Because if you followed this MLB season closely like I did this season, you would know, 1, the Rangers are one of the most exciting teams in baseball. I've been saying this for a month, maybe 3 months, maybe the rest of my life. 2, the Diamondbacks are one of the youngest and also most exciting teams in baseball, and they peaked at the right time. Nobody thought I remember saying something about it would be cool if they make the World Series back in June, but like in my head, I'm like, they're too young. They're just playing really well. Maybe 2 years from now, that'll be their year. Oh, and they proved me wrong. And look at them. They're 1-1 with the Rangers in the World Series and could possibly get it done if FOD gets it done tonight.
One of the first pieces of content that I put together for my job that I have here in Rockford was a video that I put together about Groundhog's Day. And the only comment that was left on this video was some guy with a private profile that commented and said, "Pretty dumb." I tell that short story to apply the same comment to Ryan Smith, which I will say,
Brian.
Either way, pretty dumb.
There's two of them. There's somebody else too. I forgot their name, but yeah, there was like 2 journalists.
Pretty dumb is the way that I'll put that. What you have for a World Series this year is a very interesting dichotomy, I think, because you have 2 teams that are constructed completely opposite of one another in terms of offense that have found success throughout the course of 162 and now are having success over the course of the postseason.
Yeah.
This is just a situation where 2 teams got hot. Texas is very good.
The beauty of baseball, the beauty of it, getting hot at the right time. That is,
yes,
it is poetry if you watch it happen in real time and then it keeps going and going and going and going.
I think if you're questioning this matchup, you should reevaluate your baseball fandom and your knowledge of baseball in general, because Arizona is a team that does a phenomenal job of controlling the base paths, whether it is running, whether it is defense. They do a great job of controlling the base paths. And this year, it's been more and more important with the new rules, with the bigger bases, with the pitch clocks, to be efficient at running the bases, at stealing bases. They happen to have
They have no
Alex
power.
Thomas.
They have no power.
They have none. They have
none.
Lordy Scuriel who can get hot. They have Evan Longoria who can sell out for a home run every once in a while. And they have Christian Walker that when he's hot can hit a bunch of home runs. Other than that, they don't have a bunch of mashers. They've got
Christian
contact
Walker
dudes.
hasn't hit well since June.
Correct. But when he's hot, he can hit homers, right? They
Yeah.
have guys that are fast, that run the bases efficiently, and they play great defense. This is going to be the way teams win as we move towards the future. This is why you see this is a product rather of the new rules that have been put in place. Is teams like the Diamondbacks will be successful. The interesting thing about both of these teams is neither one of them possess pitching staffs that are so crazy lights out good this year that they should be in these positions. What they do have is two dudes in each rotation that have been nails in the postseason that will continue to be nails in the World Series. Evaldi
And one
and
of them
Montgomery.
pitches tonight. And one of them pitches tonight for the Diamondbacks. A dude who is in and out of the roster this whole season because he was horrendous.
Yeah.
Brandon Pfaadt in the playoffs this season or this fall, lights out.
Yeah.
Lights out. He is
As a
somebody
rookie.
that I've made so much money off because he was so bad in the regular season.
Yeah.
And I've made nothing on him in the postseason. He is remarkable, and he is the opposite of having a hot bat because he's a pitcher. Because he's a pitcher, Ryan.
Right, sure. He's a hot arm. You ride the hot
arm.
Texas, on the other hand, is the typical offensive juggernaut that that wins consistently in the postseason and such. This year, and just follow me because I don't want to throw a whole bunch of numbers at you, but just follow me here. This year, the Texas Rangers on offense, number 2 in batting average, but also number 2 in slugging. They have an extra base hit percent rate of 9.1, which ranks second in baseball. They're third in home runs per game, second in doubles per game, and they have a team BABIP which ranked third highest in baseball this year at 309, which technically is not good because you would expect some sort of regression. But they're second in hits per game. They walk a ton and they get on base a ton. This is a team
so disciplined.
And this is a team that top to bottom in terms of offense is so good. They don't have a lot of chase in their game.
They don't.
They make up for in BABIP, usually when you're talking about batting average on balls in play, that will have to do with your obviously your balls put in play, your batting average and your slugging that will fluctuate. But when you are still incredible at getting on base, even without a hit, your BABIP doesn't matter as much. And so this team is where they are because of how good they've been with sticks in their hands. Their pitching hasn't even been that good.
It never has.
But it's been good enough to get them here. Like there's so many fun storylines. How can you not like this? It's two different sides of the game come together to decide what's champion in 2023.
And we say that, and then it's the lowest viewed game one in MLB history.
Yeah.
The lowest since 2020, which was, I think it was 9-2 something. And the game one was 9-1-8.
Yeah, in terms of millions per millions of viewers. Yeah, listen, this is already a great series. You've had the team that doesn't do anything in terms of power put up 10 runs on Saturday night.
Now, but
we already have free tacos.
Free tacos. Game one was the biggest FU to Brian Smith, and also I found the other guy, John McClain. Also, Brian Smith is from the UK. Keep your voice down, buckaroo.
Right.
So
be quiet. The Americans are talking.
Yeah, hey, the Red Bloods are talking. John McClain tweets out after the game, there's something special about these Rangers. Down 5-3 in the ninth. Seager 2-run homer ties it. The bottom of the 11th, Garcia hits a walk-off home run to win 6-5. Garcia did it after getting hit in the wrist in his previous at-bat. That's 5 home runs in 5 consecutive games. I quote tweeted, "Is this you, John? Diamondbacks Rangers is the MLB Is the MLB World Series no one wanted? Is it worth your precious TV time?
The sad thing, though, Colby, the sad thing is that it could entirely be that he didn't really believe his original take, and it was just a way to get some play while everybody was online looking at, all the tweets and headlines and such before Game 1 of the World Series. And at that time, everybody is going to be very complimentary of what's about to happen on the field and excited and positive, and he chose a different route. And it could just be that he saw an opportunity to seize some interaction and retweets and likes and such, and that is what we got, was a tweet that he really didn't believe in. It's almost like a comedian when they tell you jokes. The jokes don't always have truth to them on their personal beliefs.
People forget.
People do forget. That sometimes reporters and aggregators and talkers of sports will just say things they don't necessarily believe in order to drum up engagement. Because this is, by all means, exactly what baseball wanted for this series. This is exactly what everybody should have wanted for this series.
I would just like to say I cyberbullied Brian Smith on Friday. And Brian Smith, if you see this, I'm sorry, but do better.
But Brian Smith also probably, like this guy, probably also welcomes the cyberbullying because it helps him in his engagement. I don't know. Now it's a completely different conversation, but tied at 1. It's now a best of 5 series, first to 3 wins, and we'll see how it all goes. First game in the World Series in Arizona since 2001 happens tonight, and I'm excited to watch it. I will also say that I have to stop putting dumb shit in my parlays. I just got my
single. Did you do the single again?
I got my FanDuel account back. I've been locked out of it for so long, and it hasn't mattered until I realized that playoff baseball is almost over, and I love betting playoff baseball. So on Friday night, Game 1 of the World Series, I did a something stupid, and I bet Ketel Marte to get a hit, and also for that hit to be a single. What did I miss my 5-leg parlay by that would have won me, a couple of units? The single, because he got a hit. He was 1 for 4 with a double. So, like, I have to learn to stop putting dumb shit in my parlays. Yesterday, I made some stupid parlay with Tyson Bagent under rushing yards or over rushing yards or some shit like that, and it's been a weird
Tyson
time.
Bagent interception was the lock of the century.
It was. I feel like the dog at the computer. That's just like, I know what's going on.
Yeah, when it comes to like specific hits, I avoid singles. And then if it's a double or home run, you always just half unit. But did you take that Air Force bet?
I did. I took them money line though, because I text you. Yeah.
You parlayed it?
Yeah. I text you and I was like, what was the Air Force bet that you gave out on stadium bets? And you didn't get back to me right away. So I was just like, money line, because I didn't know what to do.
No, it was it was I had it 11.5. I found it in the beginning of the week. Now, before we get into football talk, I do want to, I guess this will get us into football talk. Kansas, did you see they upset Oklahoma?
Yes.
They stormed the field. They took the goalpost to the lake.
And they threw it in the lake.
They threw
where you could still see the top of it.
You still see it. Now, for this week's slate, Papa has.
Oh, yeah, they're in a letdown situation, aren't they? You take the field goal down, you lose the next
Iowa
game.
State -2.
What did I'm still like recovering right now from like pulling my pants up as high as I did.
Uh-huh.
My chones are fucking. I gotta fucking. Can guys get camel toe? Because I have that.
Yes, they can.
What happened to Tennessee last year when they beat Alabama? What did they do the week after?
I don't know. Do you know, or because
I'm hammering away right now to figure it out.
Because
Tennessee
I don't think I've ever seen them take down the. How did they get it out of the stadium? I want to know how they got it out of the stadium. That's remarkable. That's an awesome fan base.
Tennessee.
No. Kansas taking the goalpost to the lake. There was a tweet, and it was a journalist, I think, behind everyone carrying it, and it goes, "We're going to the lake."
So Tennessee last year, this is kind of unfair. Tennessee last year beat Alabama 52-49 and then played UT Martin the next week and won 65-24. So that's not a good representation. But
They probably
a
didn't even
team
cover.
like Kansas,
Mhm.
this seems like a perfect spot for some letdown betting.
Well, there were 3 schools that stormed the field, Ryan. Now, if you're ready for that, you would take UCLA, and then you would take Virginia. Georgia Tech stormed the field, and so did Arizona.
Okay. So run a little storm the field parlay.
I don't know. That gets me scared.
You do storm the field parlay, and then you wrap that up with a storm the Capitol parlay and put like Tennessee to win or something like that, or Alabama to win.
I love my cousin parlay.
I love my cousin parlay. Okay, fine. How about we parlay this conversation into the 1 point rundown covering NFL Week 8? Philly at Washington. A.J. Brown sets an NFL record for games in a row with 125 yards or more, and all it took was crying really loud in Week 2. Philly beats Washington 38-31.
Bust out the Duke's Mayo because Will Levis is here to stay. Titans 28, Falcons 23.
Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. It's my favorite time of year. A chill in the air, bundled up in your favorite depression hoodie, and blood pressure through the roof because it's Trubisky time for football once more. Jacksonville 20, Pittsburgh 10.
No need to put that mascara on, babe, because 2 teams that nobody cares about are playing each other. Saints 38, Indianapolis Colts 27. I didn't think that would make me laugh.
They play once every 4 years. Jets at Giants. It was a home game for both, though. It was weird. The oh my God, please make it stop game of the week. New York, the Giants, finish with 7 passing yards. What the hell? 13-10 in overtime. Jets win.
2 picks, and he still hasn't rode us back. Geno Smith leads the way as the Seahawks win 24-20.
Cincinnati at San Francisco. Joe Burrow and friends celebrate a huge road win versus a very healthy and certainly not still concussed Brock Purdy. Bengals 31, 49ers 17.
Holy cow, that guy that takes care of Future's kid beat Patrick Mahomes 24-9.
Baltimore at Arizona. The Ravens now 6-2. Are head dogs in the AFC North, and everybody is happy except Odell Beckham Jr., who's really tired and needs a nappy because I don't know if you saw the fit he was throwing when he didn't get his touchdown. He was just throwing a little toddler tantrum. Ravens 31, Cardinals 24.
Miami, thank you for 2 things. BBLs and for making Boston lose every single week, it feels like. 31-17.
Minnesota at Green Bay. No sly comment here. I just really genuinely feel bad for Kirk Cousins, who's going to miss the rest of 2023. Also, if she was at the game, how come we didn't get more Simone Biles hype? Vikings 24, Packers 10.
Rams 20, Cowboys 43, and I still don't take the Cowboys seriously.
Houston's in Carolina for this one. Embrace debate. Is Adam Thielen the best diversity hire ever? 15-13, Carolina gets their first victory.
I got a Thielen.
That tonight is going to be a good night.
I got a Thielen that, I got a Thielen that the Raiders will somehow be good tonight.
Tampa Bay at Buffalo. It was cool to see pass interference completely thrown out the window on that final play. Also, Chris Godwin, turn around. Turn around.
Every now and then I get a little
Vegas and Detroit on Monday Night Football. This should be a massacre, right? Like, even if Amon-Ra St. Brown doesn't play tonight, this should be straight up massacre by one of the NFL's best teams.
You would think that.
What do you know that I don't know, gambling man?
I know that the public is heavily, heavily on the Lions.
Well, of course they are. I mean, that's and in what way?
It's a
Like
no-brainer.
in all ways are they on them, or like are we talking like just money lines and just like spread?
This game spread.
And so what does that mean? Like you say this.
Mm-hmm.
We as football fans, if we're just saying, hey, we're smart and we know football, we're going to say the Lions will win. No money, no wagering, no bets. But you say the public is hammering Detroit. What does that mean? We'll give that context.
So you can get percentages of the betting data. Well, I can get them because I work for MGM. I also know where to find it for DraftKings. Also, they give it to you on the app too, but I usually don't check that. The public being on the spread, I don't look at the public money line. I only look at the public percentage on the spread. And if you look at percent bet instead of percent handle is where the money is. That's money. Percent bet is how many tickets are on that. So tonight, it's like 80 something plus percent is on MGM and DraftKings are on the Lions. Usually I don't look at anything until I see an 8, like an 80% or something. If you see a 90%, I have to bet the other side because I forgot what the percent is. Like the public obviously wins a lot. They've won a lot in the beginning of the year for college and NFL, but there's a point where Vegas catches up because they don't have those buildings because they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
So when we're talking about it from a purely football perspective and you say the public is hammering Detroit,
no, I could be completely
do you
wrong.
have the superstition? Is there some sort of superstition that you believe because of the way money is being put into it that somehow the game will go the other way?
No, I don't.
Is that what
think
you're insinuating or no?
No, I'm not saying that the Raiders will win. I'm just saying I don't think that they'll win by the margin that Vegas put out for the Lions. But however, can I see the Lions winning by 20? Yes. I
Yeah.
can see them winning by 20.
What is the line tonight?
7.
Oh yeah, I could see that big time.
It's one of those weird numbers. Like it's a weird, like the Bears won by how much and the Lions are only favored by 7? Ugh.
So because we are talking about Vegas, because we're going to have this conversation no matter what, we've been having this discussion via text. Why does the NFL feel bad this year? Why does it feel different? Why does it feel weird? And I was having this conversation with another friend of mine, and we had the thought experiment. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to come up with, but like, let's for a second go through the list of head coaches that you can confidently say are good. No boneheads, no like maybe they're good. Go through the list of coaches who you think are actually good.
Matt Eberflus.
No. Are actually good. Come on.
McDaniel, Shanahan.
Yep.
Why can't I think of
We're probably saying Andy Reid.
We're
probably saying Sirianni. We're probably saying
Pete
even
Carroll.
though he's bad this year, we're probably still saying Belichick.
Pete Carroll. Zach Taylor.
You're going to throw Zach Taylor in there?
Yeah, I'm not throwing in McDermott. I will not throw in McDermott. I think he needs. I think Daboll's a good coach. I think he's on a terrible team. You put
unquestionably good is what we're aiming for in this category. Unquestionably good. Daboll is probably out of that.
Yeah, Daboll. Yeah, he's on the fringe. I'm trying to think of teams.
I don't think you could say McVay's in that list anymore.
You can't put Peyton in there.
No.
Now
list.
That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Yeah.
I think we got him, right? Now list the bonehead coaches.
The rest of the league.
No, because there's a middle ground, but like, okay, Eberflus, Dennis Allen, what it seems
Who's
like
Dennis Allen?
The head coach of the New Orleans Saints.
Arthur Smith.
Right? Like you could keep
I think the Cardinals coach is very competent. That one video
is that Jonathan Gannon? I forget
think
which
that's
one
his
went
name.
where.
That he ever since that video of him, he's like pew pew pew, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're gonna be terrible." Pew pew pew.
That's right. They took the defensive coordinator from Philly. But like,
He's a weird
I'm
dude.
sure you could, if you went through, you could unquestionably label a bunch of bonehead coaches throughout the entire league that you're like, these guys are bad. Now do quarterbacks. Who's unquestionably good at quarterback and
The whole
who's
league,
unquestionably bad?
the whole league sucks.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is like, we might be, and this is kind of the conclusion that I came to at the end of the conversation with another friend last night, is that we might be in a situation. I could be very wrong, but we are still like 10 years removed from like Cam Newton bursting on the scene and being the greatest dual threat quarterback
We're almost 10 years away from
that we've
Peyton
seen.
Manning retiring.
But understand this is like, if we're 10 years away from Cam Newton and Mike Vick was an anomaly for his time, then that means that the kids that are growing up knowing that they could be a dual threat quarterback and be successful at the NFL level aren't that old. And so we're just now getting the first crop of dudes who can run, throw, and be threatening doing both. We were pocket passers for so long. And that was, kind of, I thought, expedited and kind of put on steroids, if you will, when we started to introduce science, when we started to introduce some modern technologies. Like, I think that's really why we saw the success of the Bradys and Rivers and Mannings and Breezes, is because they had more at their disposal. They were typical pocket passers, just like, the Elways. Well, Elway's a bit more mobile, but like the Marinos and the Youngs, and you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, the Big
We're
Ben.
just now entering this era where we have mobile quarterbacks who can throw. And so maybe we just aren't there yet. Maybe the coaching hasn't caught up. Maybe the players haven't caught up. Maybe the offenses haven't caught up. And maybe that's why things are a little funky, because so many quarterbacks now move and throw. There's not really like a standstill pocket passer guy anymore.
So you're saying that the NFL thinks their product is bad, so they have to put in industry plants?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm asking you to follow me on this conversation where we are moving away from a certain era and into a new one, and we don't have enough. I don't want to say enough talent, because the NFL is very talented, but we don't have enough there right now with enough experience, with enough of a maybe data
You can
set.
say there's not enough quarterback talent. There's not enough of that.
And maybe that's where we're at. Maybe that's where we're at.
I was trying to think. I think there's probably 5 quarterbacks that are untradeable. Lamar, Mahomes, Hurts, finally isn't. Herbert, I guess.
For where they're at right now, that he is untradeable, given the coaching staff and where they're currently at. Yes, he's untradeable. Tua is probably on that list.
I think that's it. It's not a strong list.
Yeah.
5 guys?
Or is it us? Is it us? Is it a product of overwatching football, having access to every single game, every single minute of every single game? Is it too much gambling? Is it too much fantasy? Like I said, are we just in that era of transition? Like, is it our fault that football feels as nasty as it does? Because part of this conversation that I had last night was, we are smarter sports watchers than any era has ever been. We are more aware of the games, the players, the situations than we ever have been before. And so in some regards, it's almost predictable what's going to happen on the field and in certain situations, given how much we know about every single team, every single coach, every single player. It could just be that we have far too much data, and that football in and of itself, especially at the highest level, is a rather predictable game with some twists in it.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish I could get a feel for like why I watch it, and I'm just like, something's off.
Yeah. Yeah. Something
think
something is afoot,
you
and
know
I
what
don't
it
know
is?
what it is either.
It could be the storyline. There is none. There, like, there's like typically every season has a team where it's like who's gonna beat so and so. As of right now, since as of late, it's the 49. Everyone sucks. Like,
Yeah.
are the 49ers screwed? How can we stop the tush push?
There's
And
no
then
rivalries.
there's nothing. There's nothing to look forward to. Usually I know like when a good game is coming up, it's a surprise for me every week because I'm not a schedule watcher. That's
And
just
I
not the
don't think
fan
that
that
we're
I am.
there yet. This is just me theorizing. But one of the things the NBA sorely misses is pure competitors. And and I think that's because they all aim to be buddies, right? Like maybe not
Yeah,
best friends, but like
nobody hates each other.
right, nobody hates each other. And like maybe we're not getting enough of that in the NFL right now.
Bring back bullying.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's over officiating. I've thought recently that games have been far too over officiated and there have been far too many impactful calls that referees have had their hands in that have changed the trajectory of games.
Mhm.
I don't know, man. And the only thing that I could do at this time is sit here and speculate and try to weave our way and worm our way through the thought process of what makes the NFL different this year. But maybe that's it. Maybe what you said is exactly it. There's not the storylines necessary to make things interesting this year.
Our storylines this year, it's a great segue to what I wanted to say is this is the first thing is Taylor Swift. Like that's a storyline itself. Like, where is she gonna be?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
And that's been the biggest one.
It's the biggest thing in sports. The second is the industry plant woman. We saw her again.
Yeah, last night, Sunday Night Football.
I sent it to you. Nobody acts like that. I don't care if she's the most passionate fan who happens to just be a little dorky. No. Nobody's freaking out like that every single play. And if you do, please stop watching sports.
Sure.
Please.
Sure.
But like, if she is this, hypothetically, if she is an industry plant and the NFL is putting her in this position to be recorded for clicks, for conversation pieces, to be what I am doing at this very moment, why does the NFL think they need to change and be more interesting when they are doing nothing wrong? I think the NFL is a product that, like they sometimes be like, oh, we got to do something new to keep up. No, you literally have to do nothing.
Yeah. Just let the game
NFL.
evolve.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let the players and the teams do their thing. You don't have to get in the way at all. Getting in the way of yourself is the biggest mistake you can make.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Well, just like every great empire can fall, right? Like it's like, and the reason that it happens is because they eat themselves from the inside out. They destroy themselves inside to out. And so I don't think we're there yet. We're just kind of going down the rabbit hole and speculating and just having a conversation about it. But I think it could be any number of things. And I like your idea that maybe there's just not the storylines necessary this year.
That came to me during that whole thing.
But like, truthfully, there's not like Joe Burrow has to prove himself or Josh Allen has to prove himself or, can the Chiefs do it again? Because we know that they can. And there's no,
those are guys we didn't mention in the good quarterback conversation.
We didn't. And we didn't say, but to further it, right? Like there's no old versus new, right? Like the old guard of good quarterbacks is those guys who have been in the league for 4 years. Mahomes has been in for 7. And so it's like, we don't have bad guys right now. We don't have bad guys. We don't have a Tom Brady who's been to 7 Super Bowls. It might be the Eagles just because
nobody likes Sirianni for some reason.
And I don't get that either. But we don't have villains right now. We don't have bad guys right now. We don't have perennial winners right now outside of the Chiefs. And they're being propped up and made good people because of Taylor Swift. So it's like we don't
Maybe
have
it's reverse.
Sports are cool because we get to witness the battle of good and evil. We get to not evil, but just just good and bad sometimes, right? Like
Yeah.
the other guys. We get to witness that play out on a stage every single day, every single night. And right now, we don't have good and bad. We just have our team, their team. There's no big rivalries. There's obviously still your Bears Packers, even though that's not really a rivalry anymore. You have your, all of your in division matchups in the AFC North. Jets Patriots has turned into a slush because there's no competition in that game. Like, think about your favorite games that you watch on a yearly basis.
I think that's
They're not
what it
there.
is. I think that's what it is. I think we're just in a transformation or we're changing. We're in a league where what we used to watch isn't there anymore. So it's like, okay, give it some time type thing. Because I was just thinking while I was trying to interrupt you like a jerk. The oldest quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins and Geno Smith, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, well, again, Kirk Cousins done for the rest of the year. I truly feel bad for Kirk Cousins.
Work on those calves, boys. Work on those calves.
I don't know. Is there a thing that I questioned this on socials the other day. Is there a thing that we're accrediting these Achilles tears to? Because it feels like there's been an awful lot of them this year.
Yeah,
and it could be.
So it's Aaron Rodgers, right? And then Kirk Cousins. They didn't take their anti-vaxxers. That's the whole thing. That's a conspiracy. That's what the league wants you to do. They don't want you to take the vaccine.
So what? They're sneaking in the middle of the night and making little micro tears in their Achilles tendons so that they snap.
But it is hilarious that the two anti-vaxxers are for their Achilles.
One's an anti-vaxxer and the other one's just a devout Christian. Like, there's a little bit of difference.
Have you ever seen the 2014 headline of Kirk Cousins? And it says, thoughts on having potential like gay teammates, and he said not everybody's perfect. Bad take, Kirk. Bad take.
Woo!
It was also 10 years ago, but hey.
Shit.
He said that.
Speaking of Kirk Cousins don't say gay type of stuff, did you see what happened in the NHL before we go?
They brought him back.
They
NHL, cowards. They're cowards.
Yes. They're NHL cowards. Put forth a rule that they would ban any sort of Pride Night tape, any sort of Pride Night jerseys, or other warm-ups as well. And there was a journeyman defenseman for the Arizona Coyotes, I want to say, who said, I think that's where we play, but either way, said, no, screw that. I have gay family members. I have, gay friends whom I would like to support and use my platform for. And so I think he did the pride tape on his stick, and guess who caved? Caved immediately, like an igloo in hot water. The NHL was like, actually, we reverse it. You guys can wear whatever you want. It's all good, because it was a cowardly thing that they did to begin with. They're protecting this minority of small men who can't get over the fact that like life is bigger than them and their beliefs at times. Like somehow villainizing and demonizing being gay is like, I can't support that. Hey man, like if you can do like I don't know, if they were to do like let's say like a Black History Month night, right? Like a one of those type of nights, and you weren't going to wear that, or you're going to not support Black people. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's just how people are, and you should support people for who they are, unless they're, illegally something.
Like I mentioned with the NFL getting in the way of itself, the NHL is a prime example of getting in the way of itself. It's a league that a lot of networks and a lot of people are trying to boost up the league. The league is fantastic. As a new fan of the sport, hockey is fantastic. They're getting great new players, but stuff like this, you look stupid. And like ESPN owns all their games now, I think, owns a lot of their games.
Yeah, the rights.
You are screwing yourself out of more fans by telling fans, hey, that's not cool to us.
Well, and the NHL might be the most progressive of any of the leagues.
NHL?
Yeah. Before the rule.
You're missing. I don't know that.
Before
for a
that
fact.
rule, they might be one of the more progressive leagues in terms
I
of
would say
what
the
this.
WNBA.
Well, okay, but I'm thinking of the big four, right? The four that we know most commonly. I'm no discredit to the WNBA. They are on the rise. They are doing great things. Shout out Kelsey Plum. Thank you for smoking your cigars the way that you do. But the NHL has done a lot of great things in terms of being progressive,
I mentioned
welcoming
this in a
people
previous,
in, trying to grow their league, and then they were just like, "Hey, people who just showed up,
I told you,
piss off."
I told you previous podcast that I went to one of the Pride nights at a Blackhawks game, and while trying to get in like a little niche of like on Twitter, there are a lot of people from the LGBTQ plus community that are fans of hockey. And I didn't expect that because I figured it's just old white men.
If
that
you market
were there
to
on
them
January
and
6th.
tell them they're involved and tell them that they're welcomed, people will show up. People will show up. If you invite them, they probably come.
Can I piss off Chicago real quick, Ryan?
Piss off Chicago.
Clapping during the anthem is the corniest thing I've ever been a part of.
Seems like a fairly weird thing to target. Why?
Have you ever been to a Blackhawks game?
What did they just clap?
They clap during the anthem. That's their tradition. They clap during it. And
I didn't know that.
one of the. Oh, you got to look it up.
Jim Corneliuson's phenomenal at singing the anthem, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but guess what? You can't hear him because of the clapping. And like I just said, it's a lot of white men, white older guys
who can't clap in unison.
Wrong, sort of. But these are also the same people who would get mad if somebody took a knee. Like, I think clapping's more rude.
Might be.
Because you're quiet when you're taking a knee. Team knee.
Might be. I am not getting into the politics, though I am dressed as a politician. I am not getting into the politics of the anthem and such today. I don't have the energy for it. And I think that this episode has probably run its course, right? We got to do... I'm so happy when we get to do baseball talk.
Oh, I remember you called me a nerd early in the show, and you're like, you can't come back from that?
Yeah.
A guy on Twitter yesterday, when I thought Joel Embiid was going to sit out the home opener for the Sixers because for whatever, I tweeted, "Oh, the widow guy needed a tiny baby widow nap. The poor guy's all tuckered out." Some guy replies to me, "He's playing, Tubby."
Tubby.
You wouldn't say that to his face. Tubby! I was dying. And I said, "Thanks for noticing, cutie." And it says, "Jiggle for justice." Oh, I was in tears when they said that.
Stitches. All right.
In tears, Tubby. And that was episode 151 of the Missed Call podcast. Please do not clap during the anthem.
Julio Jones scored a touchdown this week.
Nobody cares.
All I got is missed calls on my line, yeah, never